Khun from University of Waikato, and Jamie from University of Canterbury. Okay, so I'll ask each all the university few questions. And after that, we'll go for Q&A sessions. And in the Q&A sessions, if you have any questions specific to any university, you can name that university and then ask that questions. Okay. So after the webinar, I will also unmute you. So you can also ask in the chat box, or either you can ask in, directly to the providers as well. Okay. So welcome everyone, and welcome to all our partner universities to the webinar. Okay. So let's start the webinar. Okay. So I'll ask the first question to Jennifer from University of Auckland first. Okay. So my first question is, if anyone want to study in New Zealand or study in Auckland, so what is the average cost of living in Auckland? How student typically budget, and what are some of the popular courses that student can study at University of Auckland?
Hi, David. Hello, everyone. For international students who are looking to study in Auckland, one of the great advantage of being an international student in New Zealand is that under the student visa, students are allowed to work part-time during term time. So students are allowed to work 20 hours a week. And during summer break, semester break, students are allowed to work 40 hours a week. So, and at the moment, minimum wage is around 23 New Zealand dollars an hour, which will contribute towards the students' living expenses. We would encourage, depending on the students' lifestyle as well, we would encourage students to perhaps make their own food, pack their own lunch, and for students who do live in, for example, in the University of Auckland's halls of residence, as first-year undergraduate students, all the expenses are covered, are included actually in the student accommodation fee. So that includes all 3 meals, all power, internet, water, laundry, and all that. So depending on the students' lifestyle, I would say, but I guess maybe HOP can also add to that for students living in Auckland, given that Auckland is a little bit different compared to other cities in New Zealand. So yeah. And in terms of, and did you ask about programs as well?
Yeah, some of the popular program at the University of Auckland for international students.
Sure. For international students, I guess one of our top popular programs among Southeast Asian students tend to be business and science. For example, biomedical science is quite popular. Our Bachelor of Commerce and also engineering is quite popular as well in the undergraduate level. At master's level, it depends on the student's background. For example, one of our most popular program, I've shared this with others before as well, for Indonesian students, for example, is our Master of Energy program, which is quite a unique program. And our Master of Arts, quite popular among Vietnamese students. So depending on the student's background, but we do offer a variety of different programs at the University of Auckland.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. So my second question is to Hope from Auckland University of Technology. So the second question is, because I always get asked this question, is there any Indonesian students or Vietnamese students or Myanmar students studying at your university? Because everyone's trying to find, someone familiar from their own country, So at Auckland University of Technology, how diverse is the student body in terms of nationality and background?
Thanks, David. I think I'll just answer this questions for Auckland overall, because we are AUT and UOA, University of Auckland, is right next to each other. We are in the city, in the CBD of Auckland City. So Auckland as a whole, it's quite a multi-diverse cultural city, and about 35% of Aucklanders was actually born overseas. So student will find I'll say it's multicultural environment. At AUT, we do have quite a lot of international students. I think we right at the moment we have more than 4,000 international students across over 100 countries around the world. You know, we have, you know, Indonesian, Vietnamese, Myanmar, like Burmese, Malaysian, you know, all students from Southeast Asia, they're studying at AUT and UOA. So there's quite, because we're quite close to each other in the CBD, they're not just a community at AUT, but they're making friends and people from other universities as well, including, you know, Massey and, you know, and University of Auckland. And, you know, they also make friends across the country. So if they're going, say, to the South Island, they'll finding some people from the, you know, from their country, from the South Island as well. So quite a multi-diverse culture in New Zealand overall, in Auckland in particular. You know, student can also find, you know, many different types of foods and restaurants, and can go to the supermarket that can find the things from their country, original country.
Thank you so much, Rob. So my third question is to Mike from Massey University. So because ongoing demand for STEM subject, so what specific resources are available for students pursuing STEM? So STEM means science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, for those students who might not know.
Thanks, David. Yeah, we're seeing a lot more interest in students looking to pursue STEM programs now, particularly from Southeast Asia, which is really nice to see. In terms of support for students who are studying these programs, we provide support for all our students, whether they're domestic or international, through our Center for Learner Success. And any student can go there to get advice about things like their assignments, their essays, research techniques. If they've written something and they want somebody to check it over for English language, or whether it makes sense, or even in terms of content, they can go there, make an appointment, and talk to the advisors there. And one of the things I think is particularly relevant to STEM fields, and I'm thinking of our construction programs, which have a really tight-knit community of international students. A lot of the faculty themselves were also international students, so they know a lot of the challenges that people are facing when they're coming into these programs. So a lot of the support is kind of just being on really good terms with the teachers and the professors, being able to go to them for help. And that can be, you know, academic help. It can also be kind of career advice and industry knowledge. So by creating, we have a word in Te Reo Māori in New Zealand, and it's whānau, and it loosely means family, but it can mean like a wider group or wider community. So by creating or becoming part of the whānau in Massey University or one of the particular schools, they're getting that support they need when they're research or when they're studying any programs, but particularly things in the STEM fields.
Thank you so much, Mike. So the next question is for Tam from University of Otago. So this is a basic question. So as soon as we have any students get visa, you know, once they travel to New Zealand, they ask these basic questions. Okay, how do I go to the university? You know, what do I have to do in the first day? Okay, how do I contact the school support center? You know, how can I enroll for the program? So this is, I think, a bit related to that program. So can you describe the orientation program for new students at University of Otago?
Kia ora, everyone. Hello from the University of Otago, the very first university in New Zealand. I guess the orientation at Otago, you know, would be very much similar to the orientation from the universities across New Zealand, because this is part of the New Zealand pastoral care. You know, it's a compulsory thing for all New Zealand university to ensure the pastoral care for international students, and orientation is one of them. And therefore, when you receive your offers, you normally receive a message that you must attend the orientation seminar and enrollment with us. So I guess, like I said, the orientation will be, you know, similar across the university, but I believe there are also some differences as well. But generally, I think we will have to cover on essential information for the students. Firstly, you know, the enrollment thing. We have to make sure that the student have their course enrolled. and approved by the university, and then get the access to their student portal, student system. We have the seminar to talk to the student about, you know, like health insurance, for example, campus safety. Generally, we are really safe, but we need to tell the student, you know, how to ensure their safety when they are in New Zealand. For example, you know, traffic, cars driving. At Otago, we also have some seminars to talk to the student about, you know, New Zealand outdoors, about secret to academic success. We also have the prelim lectures. So it is very much similar to the lectures that the student going to do throughout the semester. But this is an amazing opportunity for the student to meet the lecturers and have some early questions about their papers or their subjects. We also have some seminars about the New Zealand culture. You know, what are the difference between the New Zealand versus, you know, some cultures that the student come from. Yeah, so there's a lot. Also, we have international food festival for the student. We also have campus tour and welcome a seminar. So this is where we got you know, like academic and current student to welcome new students, different activity for them on the campus. We also have the expo where we bring on the people from different academic services and unit on the campus to meet the student during the orientation week. So this is a great opportunity for the student to know on the services, on the people on the campus, what are waiting for them throughout the semester, and we prepare them, we set them for successful study at the university.
Sure. Thank you so much, Tam. So the next question is for Roger from Victoria University of Wellington. So I think this is being asked by everyone, you know, every day at you know, our working days. So basically, a lot of students, when it's come to New Zealand, the first thing they know is Auckland, or, you know, if Australia, it's Sydney, you know, they think this, no. And even we have a lot of students in Myanmar, like, you know, sometimes they misunderstood Wellington with Washington. Can you please tell us what are the options for part-time work on or near campuses for students?
You're on mute, Roger.
Thank you, Hop. That was just checking that people are actually awake and trying to listen to some news from the capital city of Wellington, the southernmost capital city in the world. What an exciting place to come and study, but it's not boring. So when you talk about work here, Wellington is the IT hub of New Zealand, and that includes really interesting stuff going on that relates to things to do with visual effects, the graphics that might go with computing and IT stuff. So if people are interested in that and interested in studying that, that's sort of activity that is going on around the place. Campuses at the university are within sort of 5 to 10 minutes walk of different parts of the central business district of the city. What that means is that students who would like to think about part-time work while they study have really easy access to getting to places that might offer that. As Jennifer mentioned, it is possible to look at part-time work throughout the study period, and the possibility also of full-time work during long vacations. So there are different ways that might happen. There is a student work sort of option service that runs through the Student Association, so people can link into that. There are also the student communities on campus who, for example, if they are Myanmar students or if they are Indonesian students, we have international student associations. And students there will talk to each other about, oh, here's where I managed to find some work and here's a contact. How about looking them up or making contact, you know, somehow to see what's possible. It's very important that students understand that the main thing is to be successful in their study. They have to manage to pass their courses. And so part-time work really has to fit around the timetable that a student has and what they might need in terms of time for getting on and preparing for assignments, preparing seminars, tests that might come up and things like that. What this means is that part-time work is usually in the morning or in the evening or in weekends, and it has to fit around study periods. Part-time work can be available. It may not be available all the time for students, but there is the possibility with student visa to keep looking and get up to 20 hours work a week. Wellington is a very compact central city area. Everything is walkable, and it is walkable from each of our campuses. So students have really easy access to finding the, somewhere that might be close enough and that will fit with their interest.
Thank you so much. So we are doing the counseling is also like getting, if I study at this particular university or, a college, can I get a job? Or does the university help the students to find jobs? This kind of questions. So this is something related to that. So what kind of post-graduation support does the university offer for job search and career advancement at University of Waikato? Kun?
Thank you, David. Kia ora, everyone. Well, as you are aware that if you finished, a certain program in New Zealand, you may be eligible for post-study work visa up to 3 years. And I believe that each university has their own career team who will support students with all aspects of career development. For example, at University of Waikato, we have the career and employability team. They will support students with career development. For example, they will organize the career expo throughout the year to connect students with employers in New Zealand, so they can look for internship and career opportunities after graduation. Or and they also organize, several workshops. For example, like how to prepare the CV, the cover letter. The workshop teach students about the working culture in New Zealand, how to apply for a job in New Zealand, how to search for a job efficiently, etc. So it's not only for students after graduation, but during your study at the universities, you can be in touch with the career team anytime, and they also support you with the part-time job sometimes. So please be active and just contact them anytime you need support. Thank you.
Thank you, Kun. Okay, so living in your home country, especially at the earliest age, like when you were 17, 18, is very difficult. And especially when you are away from your family, you go to a new country and then you face especially New Zealand is English-speaking country, but for sure, for a lot of South Asian students, it's a second language, and you can face new culture. So during this time, not everyone can cope up with this. So sometimes even I had a bit of issues with some students recently in UK that they are facing some kind of mental challenges, and while they are facing this kind of issue, university, and they got a lot of support from the university. So in University of Canterbury, how does the university support student health and well-being, including mental health services? Jamie?
Hi everyone, kia ora. My name is Jamie from University of Canterbury, and thank David for your question. It's really good question for international students. So at University of Canterbury, we really prioritize the comprehensive range of support service. So firstly, we have on-campus health center that provide medical consultation nursing service, and physiotherapy. So we provide a confidential counseling service to help students to manage personal, academic, or mental health issues, and of course, these services are free of charge. And also, we run the various well-being program, workshop, and event throughout the year to promote the physical and mental health. Lastly, we have a student care team that offers the practical support and advice on a range of issues, from the academic pressure or even the personal challenge. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jamie. So, okay, so my another question is to even what we know 6 months ago might not be, so is it okay? Okay.
Sorry, David, is that just me or it's kind of internet? It breaks down
From
a little
Lincoln
bit. We
University.
can't
Lincoln
really.
University.
No,
Yeah.
it's everyone. You were losing a little bit, David.
Yes, so we
Okay.
can't hear your questions.
How about now? Is
Now
it
it's
okay?
good.
Better, yeah.
Okay. So this question is to Lincoln University, Pilos. So as we live in a rapidly changing university, rapidly changing world, and a lot of things are changing very quickly. And even we know in terms of IT infrastructure, all this thing, even what we know 1 year ago might not, even relevant in this today. So the question related to this is, how often does the university curriculum get updated, reflect industry trend and advancement?
Okay, thank you, David, for your wonderful question. So, Mingalabashi, Selamat siang, Sawadika, and also Chom Liep Suai. So, welcome and thank you for the question. I think it's really important that everybody getting to know Lincoln a little bit regarding this question, because we originally, when we first started, we were agricultural based university, but nowadays we are moving forward and we are one of the best environment and also sustainable university at the moment, as well as we have a very strong business program, and that's probably answer part of your questions. As you can see that we are developing the program not just for the agriculture, but also for the business, for the environment. That is a significant to our course outline and also course development. We are doing everything to make sure that the curriculum, the knowledge that we deliver to our students is up to date. I give you a very a real example. This year, we have upgraded our tourism degree, and Lincoln is the first university in the South Island to deliver tourism in a degree program. We have upgraded tourism degree program from tourism management, which now everybody know what is it to manage tourism is impossible. We have upgraded and we have changed the program name together with the curriculum to be Master of Sustainable Tourism and also Bachelor of Sustainable Tourism. So that's a real example of how we are upgrading and also make sure that the curriculum and the degree is actually suit in the real world. And it will make sure that once you finish or graduate from Lincoln University, there will be much more opportunity for you to be able to get a job because our program is really up to date. Just before I end that question, my friends Hope just remind me that I should also say Xin Chào because there are a few Vietnamese students in this webinar. Okay, I'll leave it back to you, David. Thank you.
Thank you so much, you. So, okay, so get back to Jennifer again. So the second question is, as the world is moving more towards sustainability, are there any special program for students interested in sustainable or
Program? Hello, David. Cutting out again. Was it just me?
hello?
Sorry, you just cut out again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Should I repeat the questions again?
Yeah, about sustainability programs
Oh,
around
okay.
sustainability.
So are there any special program or for student interested in
Yeah.
sustainable or green career? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. As you are aware, there are 17 United Nations Sustainability Development Goals. So depending on which goal that the student is, what area that the student is after, we do offer at the undergraduate level, we do have for example, the Bachelor of Global Study, which is a cross-faculty undergraduate program that covers student can choose to major in either global environment or sustainable development, global politics and human rights. So depending on the areas of sustainable development goals that the student is interested in, and there's also, for example, international relations and business, transnational culture and creative practices under global studies. At the postgraduate level, around global studies, we also have like the Master of Global Studies that offers specific areas in like human rights, environmental sustainabilities. So there are various different programs that can contribute towards sustainability. We also have, like I mentioned before, Master of Energy, which is around energy transition, renewable energy, and also under the Master of Energy Engineering Studies, there's also like sustainable resource recovery that allows students to look at pursuing specialization in like bioprocessing, food processing. So those are the different areas of sustainability, sustainable development goals related areas that students can pursue. So yeah, and on the University of Auckland website, if students search for study sustainability, it will come up with a list of all the different programs and courses that we offer that will feed into the specific areas of sustainable development goals.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. So the question to Hope again from Auckland University of Technology. So how accessible is the campus in terms of public transportations and local amenities?
Thanks, David. As we are in the CBD of Auckland, but to be honest, quite hilly, the public transport is widely available. You can take buses. You can take, I mean, if you live in the city, with the whole of residences, you can actually just walk to the university. You can walk around the cities, to supermarkets, restaurants, buy all the entertainment events. But if you want to go a bit further away from the cities, you can take the buses. You can take, there's a train available as well. So this is also related to your original questions to Jennifer about the living, right? The housing. So if you live in the CBD, the cost might be a bit higher than if you live a bit outside of a city. So if you live outside of a city, then there's public transport that you can use, or you can drive to the CBD as well. So yes, it's easily accessed like another big cities, around the country or in Southeast Asia. So you can go relatively easy, and then it's at Auckland. It's about 25 minutes drive to the airport. So if you want to flight to another city in New Zealand, you can get take the air transport from Auckland. So it's got, and then if you going from Southeast Asia, most of the flight will be arriving in Auckland, and then you can fly to a different city in New Zealand. So again, it's the biggest cities in New Zealand. So all of the transportation, public transports are happening, available easily in Auckland.
Thank you, Hope. So another question to Mike. So how does university support students in getting internships, and do you have any kind of program that's already include internships?
Yeah, thanks, David. I'd say there's a couple of different ways. We have a career center on site on each campus. So Massey is slightly unusual, and we have 3 campuses in New Zealand. We have one in Auckland, and then one in Palmerston North, and one in Wellington. So whenever I talk about the university, I have to talk about 3 different places at once. But we have careers service in all 3 campuses, and that's there to help students find maybe internships, part-time work, or graduate jobs afterwards. A lot of our programs have internships integrated into the study. We call that work integrated learning. So if you're studying, I don't know, say an MBA, then as part of your study, you're going to be working with real businesses and real organizations, and you're going to get credits for the work you're doing. So it's going to contribute to your overall grade that you get for your program. These are actually a really, really good opportunity because your work integrated learning is a little bit like an extended job interview. And a lot of our graduates go on to work for the companies where they did their work integrated learning. So it's always good that students try and make a really good impression on those programs, probably going to work out at a job at the end of it. The third way is slightly more informal. New Zealand's a really small place, right? There's about 5 million people in the whole country. One of the best ways to get a job is to be recommended by somebody you know. That's how I found my last couple of jobs. It's how many New Zealanders get their jobs, is somebody says, hey, this person's really good for that role. And that's something I think we do really, really well at Massey, particularly in some of our very industry-focused programs. For example, food technology. It's a big industry in New Zealand, but small number of people. 50% of the students on our Bachelor of Food Technology program have job offers before they graduate. And one of the best ways they do that is one of their lecturers, one of their teachers, one of the staff at the university will say, hey, there's a job going here. This company's looking for somebody. I think you'd be really good. Let me put you in touch with them. And that's kind of a microcosm how New Zealand works. Because we are really small, those networks that you form while you're studying with us, that's your best way of finding part-time work and also graduate work afterwards. So all those opportunities for internships, work integrated learning, part-time work, they're your best chance of finding employment after you graduate. And you can really build a strong network for yourself for your future career when you're studying in New Zealand.
Thank you, Mike. So another question is for Tam from University of Otago. So can you please tell us what are some of the most popular programs at University of Otago, or like, you know, some of the programs that university is famous for, like medicines programs, or what are some of the programs that most international students choose at University of Otago?
We have 4 different divisions. So firstly, the business school, secondly, division of science, division of health science, and the division of social science or humanities. And we have international students from nearly 100 countries in the world, and they are doing various programs at the university and across the 4 divisions. For example, we have students doing pharmacy, medicine, dentistry, physiotherapy, or med lab. We also have students doing accounting and finance. We have students doing sustainable business with us, tourism, marketing. We also have students doing like nursing. As you may have known, we have subjects that are ranked top in the world. For example, sport-related subjects, we are ranked number 12 in the world, and we do have international students doing these programs as well. We have medicine. We are the only 2 universities in New Zealand that offer medicine programs. We are the only university in New Zealand that offer dentistry, for example, and we do have international students doing those programs. Similarly, we have top ranked programs in food science, or psychology, public health, biology, English language, education, law, ranked really, really high in the world, and we have international students doing all of those programs.
Thank you, Tam. So, okay, the next question is for Roger from Victoria University of Wellington. I was confused with University of Victoria. Okay, so the second question is, how does the university support entrepreneurships and innovations among students?
Okay, thank you. Yes, there are a few Victoria universities around the world, but the highest ranked one is the Victoria, University of Wellington, interestingly. And this is one of the 8 universities in New Zealand that are all ranked in the top 2 or 3% in the world. So all very good universities, and we are certainly one of those. What I would like to say is that innovation and entrepreneurship are at the heart of what goes on in a university. I mean, that's research is going on in all sorts of areas to make things better, to improve things and make things different. We include entrepreneurship. So innovation happens in all sorts of ways in different faculties. So for example, for us in architecture or design, innovation happens in interesting ways. One piece of innovation that came out of architecture school in Victoria and Wellington is the development of isolation units for buildings, so that when earthquakes happen, now people in the Pacific Rim are familiar with earthquakes and volcanoes, but when they happen, the isolation units allow a building to move and not fall over in an earthquake. So there's an example of research at the university that leads on to something that makes a difference in people's lives. So innovation is encouraged in the way we teach and encourage people to learn. We call it teaching and learning, not just teaching. And in the way we expect students to present. Entrepreneurship comes up alongside that in all sorts of ways. And for us specifically in our business school, we have an entrepreneurship and innovation center called the Atom. The Atom has hosted, for example, last year, for the first time, an international startup festival called Slushed. So that is trying to get students involved and thinking differently and in sort of unique or new ways. And alongside that are courses that are taught to link in with ideas of entrepreneurship. So we have advanced on entrepreneurship, we have SME internationalization, we have entrepreneurship and practice, innovations and public policy. They are examples of courses that come up in programs. What I would say beyond that is that universities will have leadership or public programs that students can get involved in that are beyond their study. One at Victoria is called an International Leadership Program, and that is encouraging students to think about the fact they will have some sort of leadership role when they graduate and when they move into careers. And how are they going to make a difference when they are in that position? And part of it is allowing people to network and combine with other people around the world and hopefully hold on to those relationships that will be of some benefit in the future and might be of benefit to much more than themselves, hopefully to companies and to nations when they move into leadership areas. Thanks, David.
Thank you, Roger. Okay, so the next question is for Kun from University of Waikato again. This is probably one of the most frequently asked questions to all the agencies and consultancy probably. So what are the scholarships and financial aids available for South Asia students at the university at the moment, and how they can apply for that?
Thank you, David. From University of Waikato, we are now offering the Vice Chancellor International Excellence Scholarship with the value up to 15,000 New Zealand dollars for the chosen program by students. To apply for the scholarship, the student needs to apply for a program first, for the program that they are interested in first. And then once they get the offer, they can apply for the scholarship. And it will be accessed, every month. If you're interested in University of Waikato and exploring the scholarship options, please feel free to do so. And beside that scholarship, we're also offering scholarship for doctoral study, and with generous value But that scholarship will be automatically accessed with the PhD application. So I think that there are two popular scholarships from University of Waikato for international students. Thanks, David.
Okay, so the next question is to Jamie from University of Canterbury again. So what are the opportunities for students' involvement in students' club, organization, and extracurricular activities?
Thank you, David. So that's what I always try to encourage international students to join some activity after school hour. So actually right now we have over 160 club and society catering to to cultural activity. New people will organize various event activity, including social, cultural, and education activities that will provide students with numerous opportunities to get involved and have some fun. So we have excellent sports facility and offer a range of sports and recreational activity. So whether students are looking to compete at a high level or just stay active and healthy, so there will be something for every student to join in University of Canterbury. Thank you, David.
Thank you, Jamie. Okay, so the next question is to Pierlos from Lincoln University again. So can you please tell us what are the options for students dining on campus or around the campus?
Okay, thank you for the question. Because Lincoln University is focusing on the water, soil, plants, and also one of the best for the food innovation. So food is really important for us. And when I ask my student, if you come away to study overseas, what do you miss the most? And if they say, I miss my family, they are liars, because what they miss the most is food. So food is really important part for us. If students choose to do on-campus accommodation with full gather, they would use their student ID card to tap into the student dining hall. And in the dining hall, we have nearly everything. We try to do our best to make sure that international students feel like home at the most when it's come to food. So the student who choose to do on-campus full gather will get access to buffet breakfast, buffet lunch, and also buffet dinner, and that's have wide range of food, start from salad, usually rice, and of course potato, French fries as always there. Always some of the international food are available. Sometimes we have Indian curry, sometimes we have the Thai curry. We also do catering for people who need special need. For example, if you allergic to nuts, or if you need halal food, we always have a station for halal food. If you stay off campus, or if you stay on the campus but you do self-gather, you can casually purchase this buffet on a daily basis or on a weekly basis. That is also a possible option for you. Apart from this on-campus dining opportunity, you also have wide variety of restaurants. Just behind Lincoln University, we have a very good supermarket. We also have a very good area where there are restaurants from everywhere, especially from Vietnam. There's a restaurant called Nom Nom. Most Vietnamese students always go there after classes, and we also have a really good Indonesian restaurant just behind the university as well. If you get a bus which leave Lincoln University every half an hour and it takes only 15 minutes from the campus to Christchurch City, then you have access to more variety of food. For example, Ruby Ranggung, that is one of the most popular Myanmar Burmese cuisine, and we have good number of Burmese students work there part-time as well. So wide range of opportunity for dining and food for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Okay, so as we have limited times, I might combine some questions together and ask you. So because we want to give a bit of more time to students so they can ask whatever questions they have. Okay, so the next question is to Jennifer. So how does the university assist students in networking with professionals in their field? And how does the university assist students with career planning and job placement after graduations?
Sure. So at the University of Auckland, we have a team called Career Development and Employability Services. So the team looks after students transitioning into workforce. They run a series of networking events as well as workshops to support students, for example, with their interview skills, with their CV writing, and they run networking opportunities for them to connect with employers. For certain programs, in particular, for example, under engineering, there are certain programs that have like a capstone project. That means as part of the degree, the student have the opportunity to do practical work with the industry employers. So that allows them real life work experience in the related field. So that will help them transition into workforce.
Sure. Thank you so much, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Okay. The next question is to Hope. Okay, so because we recently got a lot of questions from some of the students studying in like Malaysia or like Dubai or even in UK or Australia. They want to transfer to Australia or New Zealand. Okay, so how does the university assist students with career? The question: can you describe the process of transferring credit from other institutions from different countries? And also, what are the university's strongest academic program or departments?
Right, thanks, David. I think so. I think with the cross-credit transfer or what we call a recognitions of prior learning process, students will need to apply for the main program first, and then they need to get an offer letter for that program. Then they make separate applications for the RPL, the recognitions of prior learning. Now, with that process, we will require certain documents. Students will have to submit their transcript as well as the course descriptions. Also, you know, the kind of what credits, how many credits did they get from that papers. Then we pass it back to the faculty. They also have a comparison of different level of academics and to see how many credit and kind of like doing a matching process where to see how many credits can be transferred. And they will give a decision. So the faculty are going to give a final decision on how many credits can be transferred. So that's a separate process. The RPL recognitions of prior learning applications cost money. So it cost for AUT, it cost 100 New Zealand dollars for the RPL applications. For the normal applications, it's free, but for the RPL, it costs 100 applications. Now, 100 New Zealand dollars. It's gonna take a little longer than normal applications to the university. So I would suggest the student to apply early, at least 2 to 3 months before the intake start dates, to get the results. Because yeah, it's a longer process. Regarding the most popular program at AUT, well, if we're talking about popular program, I think the School of Engineering and the School of Business are our two biggest schools with the biggest number of students. But say, you know, our strongest programs is in the health science, sports science and recreations. We're also #1 for hospitality and tourism management in New Zealand. But across that, like lots of the students often confused because we say that we are a university, Auckland University of Technology. It doesn't mean that we only have the technology courses. We're providing more than 250 different courses across, 5 different departments, faculties, 16 different schools. So a wide ranges of subjects that we offer, from arts and design, architecture, engineering, business, law, health sciences, hospitality, social sciences, many different other subjects that are available at AUT. So if the student wants a bit more specific questions, I'm happy to speak to, or if they want to book a one-to-one meeting with me, you can contact experts, educations, and they can set up a different meeting to talk about individual program. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Rob. So the next question is to Max from Massey University again. So what are some of the programs that lead on to career that are currently in high demand, and what kind of housing options are available for students on and both off campus?
Well, thanks, David. So in terms of programs, we're seeing a lot of interest at the moment in construction, particularly quantity surveying. We're the only university in New Zealand that offers quantity surveying, and there is a huge shortage in that industry, both in New Zealand and overseas. So we've got a lot of students coming. In fact, I think for this year, it's probably going to be our most popular program that we offer at Massey. So quantity surveying, construction project management, both of those we offer at a bachelor's level and also at a master's level as well for 1.5 year masters. We're seeing a huge rise in interest in business analytics. And I think this is a trend that's happening globally. Our business analytics program is all about where big data meets business and how our graduates can help businesses better manage the data they have to become more efficient, more effective, and what they can do with all their data. In terms of unique programs, we are New Zealand's only veterinary science provider. Our veterinary science program is ranked 21st in the world, first in Australasia. I believe it was University of Adelaide, which we recently beat them this year, so sorry, Adelaide. And then we also have New Zealand's only university-based flying school. So we offer a really unique Bachelor of Aviation, where students can do a bachelor's degree and a commercial pilot's license at the same time. So if you've always wanted to fly, we offer a very unique pathway into the airline industry. We also offer aviation management, which is everything that is not in the air in the aviation industry. So if you love the idea of working in aviation or logistics or anything like that, then Bachelor of Aviation Management is a really good choice. New Zealand is famous for our food products. We make a huge amount of food every year. I think we produce enough food for about 95 million people. And Massey is at the heart of that industry. We have some of the New Zealand's and the world's leading agricultural programs, whether it's agribusiness or animal science, or whether it's the process side of things, food technology, creating new food products and food processes. These are very, very in high demand, both in New Zealand and overseas as well. So for students who are interested in the science of food or food production, it's a really good option to start your career, both in New Zealand and overseas. In terms of accommodation, this is the trickiest question for me because I'm the only one with 3 different campuses. So we have campuses in Auckland, Palmerston North, and Wellington. On-campus accommodation is always very, very popular, and we offer on-campus accommodation in all 3. Particularly Palmerston North, a lot of students live on campus. It's very, very good value for money in Palmerston North. Our accommodation in Auckland is some of the best in the country, and again, is very good value for money. Auckland tends to be a little bit more expensive than the other cities in New Zealand, but our on-campus accommodation is very, very popular. For off-campus accommodation, most students will probably live in shared housing. We don't do a lot of apartments in New Zealand. There's a few in the CBD in each country, but they tend to not be a very good option price-wise. So a lot of students will live in a 3 or 4 bedroom house that they share with other students. And there are a couple of websites where students can go and find house shares that they can go and live in. And generally they'll get a bedroom and they'll share like kitchen facilities and a bathroom with other students. And I'm sure that all my colleagues here will put all this information in their pre-departure info. So you guys probably don't need to worry about remembering the websites, but the one we commonly use here is called trademe.co.nz, and you can find rentals there, and you can also find house shares. New Zealand accommodation tends to be fewer high-rise buildings and more kind of single-level accommodation. So you might get quite a nice house with a garden rather than an apartment, unless you're looking at living in a CBD, which again is a really good option. And a lot of students do like to do that, so they're in the middle of everything. But if you want something a little bit different, then a nice 3-bedroom property with some other students near the beach might be more your kind of thing.
Thank you so much, Mike. So the next question is to Tam again from University of Otago. So what resources are available for students needing extra help in challenging courses such as like medicines? And what are the resources and facilities available for students in research such as library and labs?
At Otago, we have 7 libraries, and we can, we can have seat for majority of our students if they want to study on the campus throughout the day. The library is open till midnight every day. So especially it's really helpful, especially during the exams. We have subject librarians in case the student needs support from the librarian to find the relevant material for their studies. We also have higher education development center or a student academic support, so that student can reach out for any support in terms of academic matters. For example, international students, they have the first assignment at Otago and they don't know how to, unpack the assignment questions. They can make an appointment to meet our team, and our team will be able to support them with that. We also organize different workshops for the student to get to know the teaching and learning method at Otago or in New Zealand. For example, how to take note in your lectures, how to have the reading strategy, academic writing, presentation skill, mind mapping skill, etc. So in sum, everything is there to support you, to help you successful for your study at the university. We need you to reach out to us to use all of our services and our support at the university.
Thank you so much, Tam. So the next question is to Roger. So because as New Zealand is being one of the leading study abroad destinations in the world, there are a lot of students coming from different background, culture, religious belief. And how does the university handle culture and religious diversity within the campus at Victoria University Wellington?
Okay, thanks, David. What I would like to start off by saying is that New Zealand is a land of migrants. And so that is very obvious when someone comes to New Zealand, that the range and diversity of people in all sorts of cities and towns across New Zealand is significant. On top of that, it's important to note that New Zealand's society is built on the back of what is called the Treaty of Waitangi, which is a treaty recognizing the importance of the original people, their culture and language, which is Maori. So a unique experience that all students get when they come to New Zealand is that Maori culture and language, which is part of, or it goes all the way through our society and is an official language. What that means is that we enjoy diversity and we welcome and thrive on that. So at universities such as mine, but also others, there are students from more than 100 different nations, different backgrounds. We expect students to come from a whole lot of areas, and we expect diversity in the classroom. We expect it in our food and in our culture and in the arts and yeah, that sort of stuff. So it means the student society has a significant range of cultures that make it up. And someone, I think it was either Canterbury or Waikato, talked about the number of student societies and student groups that are on a university. We have over 130. It means that there are groups that are, for example, an Indonesian Students Association, a Vietnamese Students Association, a Chinese Students Association. There are all sorts of ways that culture is welcomed and students can be part of something that is their own or unique. Hand in hand with that is ideas of diversity include things like religious diversity. So, for example, it will be standard on university campuses for people to be able to find prayer rooms. We have 3 campuses across Wellington plus some other areas, and each of those has prayer room facilities. Halal food will be available. Just by example, there will also be all sorts of other faith possibilities. So I guess I'm just trying to say that diversity is welcomed in New Zealand. It is part of what makes us an interesting place. It's part of what we expect in our environment. It also means when international students come to study on campus, they do not stand out as being significantly different because they will see diversity around them. And I think that's a real plus, and it's something special that doesn't necessarily happen in every other country that students might want to go and study in. Thanks, David.
Sorry, I forgot to combine another questions for you. So another questions again. How does the university track the career progress of its graduate?
Oh, yeah, good. I'll try to be quick about this because I took a long time over the last one. So, yes, we do. We have a careers survey. We check in on students, and so we know that 93% of our students have work that they have been looking for within 6 months of graduation. So we know that. A significant part of the university for international students especially, and this will be the same at other universities, is our career and employment service. So they are helping students be prepared for work and showing them, the best chances of how to get work when they graduate, bringing employment possibilities onto campus, allowing those connections to be made, networks to be made. So we are trying to give students the best start possible if they want to carry on and gain work in New Zealand. Beyond that, we have strong alumni office in the university and a strengthening, growing number of alumni groups in different markets. So in Vietnam, our alumni group has about close to 500 people as part of it at the moment, the same in China and Indonesia, Malaysia, etc. And it is through connections and running alumni events that we can keep track of what people are managing to do, how useful their study has been in developing them for the sort of future that they might want, and how we help them on the way. So yes, we do keep an eye on that all the way through, and that is one of the key things that we are thinking about from the time we help students come to study with us. Thanks.
So much, Roger. Okay, so the next question is to Kun from University of Waikato again. So how does the university integrate technology into learning experience, and how does the university help students transition into new career if they decide to change major?
Oh, well, thank you, David. Well, I think technology is very important in the students' learning experience. So at University of Waikato, we try to, to apply the modern technology and the facilities supporting students with their practice or research. So each faculty has their own facilities and labs supporting the students' learning and research. For example, like at Waikato Management School, we have trading room supporting students in finance major, or we have facilities supporting students with engineering major. We have facilities, research facilities in environmental science, or even we have the eSport arena where students can take video games as their minor. So there are a lot of research labs and facilities to explore depending on what major students are studying. And if they want to change after graduation, if they want to change their career and have a job in the new industry, we have programs, for example, graduate diploma or postgraduate diploma, or even some master accepting non-background students. So depending on what industry they want to change to, they can pick, the right one. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, David.
Okay, so the next question is to Jamie from University of Canterbury. So how does the university support students in terms of academic advising and mentorships? And another question is, what role do alumni play in career services offered by the universities?
Okay, thank David. That's a really good question. So in terms of support students for academic advising and mentorship, I always told my international students that you are not alone, because we know all the challenge you may have as an international student. So at UC, a student is assigned an academic advisor who provide guidance on course selection and academic planning and career goals for students. And additionally, we have peer mentoring that we connect new students with experienced students who provide support and advice on academic and social aspect. So this will help new students to settle in and thrive in their new study. And also we have faculty support and learning support that provide workshop, one-to-one consultation, and of course, everything is free, and that's what we're trying to support our international students. And for alumni, we have a really big alumni community, and it's play a significant role in the career service that offered by University of Canterbury. So first, I have to say the mentorship program, where they provide the guidance and they share experience and offer career advice to our current students. And this will connect this connection will help students to gain the insight into their chosen industry and build a professional network. And we organize a lot of networking events where students can meet and connect with our alumni working in various industries. And we will open the career workshop and seminar through the year. So we invite our alumni to return to the campus and to lead the workshop and the seminar on career development topic, like resume writing, interview technique, and job search strategy, a lot of things like that. So we always try to bring the real world experience to our current students. So lastly, also a real story for UC students, that many of UC alumni provide internship and job opportunity to current students, and it's helping them to get practical experience and enhance their employability. So that's what we offer, and then we're trying to help our international students right now. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jamie. Okay, so I think probably the last questions to you from Lincoln University. So how active is the students alumni network, and how can students benefit from it? And what are the opportunities for students to gain international work experience after graduations from the university or while they're studying?
Okay, thank you, David, for the question. I think it's important for everybody to know that Lincoln University is the smallest university in New Zealand. So we only have 5,000 students in the total. and 60% of them are domestic students. Why I'm starting with this figure, because I want to let everybody know that we are boutique. We are small, but we really special. We really focus on experience. So we're not talking about the vast number of alumni, but we're talking about an enough number of alumni that would build your network. They will be hand-holding you. They will treat you not just like you are one of the number. You are a person when it's come to alumni network at Lincoln, because everybody know you as you. What is your expertise? Everybody would know that. And that is the crucial part when it's come to employability, because we're not talking about like huge number of alumni. We're not talking about maybe you just let everyone know there's a job opportunity and maybe hundreds of you would apply at the same time, but we handpick the relationship for you, because we know that individual relationship on alumni network is important. So I think that is really important for everybody to know when you consider coming to Lincoln University. And of course, on our website, if you visit worldwideweb.lincoln.ac.nz, you scroll down at the very end, you will see there's a hyperlink say alumni. If you click there, you will have access to all our alumni names, list, and story, wonderful inspiration story. That is one of the helpful tool that you can always have access to. We also have really good wide range of international exchange program. In particularly for the undergrad program, you can go and study abroad. You can go to study in UK, in America, in Hong Kong, Australia. Many of our partner programs are in Asia as well. So if you want to do your final year or final semester overseas because you want to gain overseas experience. So of course, New Zealand is your overseas country, but if you want to gain experience from the third country and expand your global network, that's also opportunity for you to do so when you study, and it will be part of your program and you will be able to finish within the planned time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pirdos. So I think it's the end of all the questions from my side. Thank you so much to all our partners for your insightful answers. So students, the stage is yours now. So we have 10 to 15 minutes. If you have any questions to any particular universities, you can put it in the chat group. I will also allow you to unmute. Okay, sorry. Only if you have any question to ask directly, okay? So the stage is yours now. So if you have any questions, put it in the chat box, and it's better if you can mention the specific university name. If maybe if you don't want to mention any university, it's fine. You can just put the question in the chat box. Okay, let's go for Q&A. Hello, students. We are waiting for your questions.
We did such a good job with all the questions you asked, David, that no one's got any more questions.
I'm still right now in Singapore. So I had an event yesterday. So I stay here alone just today because I was supposed to fly to Myanmar today, but because I had an event today, so I postponed my flight. So I'm hosting the event, literally sitting in Singapore from literally, I think, participating people from 10 different countries. And I had an event here in Singapore in last Sunday, like 3 days back at Kaplan Singapore campus, specifically for, I think, Myanmar students. And I had around 50 student participants. And majority of students, probably I would say 50% of those students were interested.
I think Lisa puts his hands up. So you can unmute yourself and ask the questions, Lisa.
Students, any questions?
There's a question in the chat, David, that you might like to tackle about visa.
Oh, okay. So, okay. This is from Facebook live stream. How is the visa conditions compared to Australia? So I think most of the students, you already know the current visa situations of Australia. So where in terms of New Zealand, I think it's there is no such issue like that is happening in Australia, because whenever you get a, you know, like if you get a visa, you get a visa. Even if you get a refusal, you get a very proper, you know, specific refusal reason which you can encounter and get a visa back. And the good thing about New Zealand is you can email them. Sometimes you can even call them and ask them about your visa update, which is, you know, I've been working for nearly 17 countries, and not even in any country we can do this kind of services. You know, that is only available in New Zealand. So at the moment, in terms of visa, New Zealand visa is quite fine if you have strong career backgrounds, if you provide all the academic or financial documents according to the visa requirements, and there's no issues for you to get the visa.
Can I add the answer to that question as well, David?
Sure, please.
Yeah, that's one thing that you need to be aware, even though we are really friendly, and as David mentioned, that we are really flexible when it's come to additional document. At the moment, the visa processing time is a bit long, so I encourage you to apply early. If you are now in this webinar and you're thinking about study in New Zealand, please do apply soon, because it can take quite some time. That is the only challenge for New Zealand student visa at the moment. But apart from that, as David mentioned, is really friendly in terms of the process and the documentation. Just the timing wise, that you probably need a little bit long. Yeah, thank you.
So my another advice to all the students is, like, you know, in terms of, okay, because some of the university right now, because the July intake is already quite close, so you can meet the July intake for sure. So, but some of the university have the November intake, but major intake is February. So if you are applying for any, you know, intake specific, apply at least 4 or 5 months in advance, so you can have enough time. Because if you apply, you know, a bit 3 or 4 or 5 months a bit earlier, because at that time New Zealand immigration, maybe they are a bit free that time, so usually most of the visa are processing within 3 to 4 weeks. But if you're applying, you know, very close to the intake, and that is the time where the immigration is on a peak stage, and your application can get delayed. So I myself advise for all the students, if possible, 6 months, not then, you know, worst case scenario, apply at least 4 or 5 months in advance, so you can get your admissions and visa without any, you know, rush process. And in terms of immigration, as I already told you, I've been working for 17 countries. New Zealand immigrations by far one of the most impressive immigrations. If you have any issue, you can email them. You can get, you know, replying from immigrations office. Most of our students from all the South Asia to do this kind of things as well. Any questions, guys? You can unmute yourself.
Okay, so someone sent me a direct message.
Oh, okay.
How long does it take to get the school offer after we apply to university? I would suggest you to use experts education. So go to an expert education office closest to you. They have a list of documents that the university requires. So if you submit that all of the required documents via expert, you with AUT, you're expecting to get an answer within 2 to 3 weeks. We're trying to make it faster, but right now we have lots of applications to process. So our standard processing time will be 2 to 3 weeks to get an offer. Now, if you apply yourself, make sure that you have enough document, because if you don't submit enough document, it's gonna return to you asking you to submit more documents. And that's why I strongly recommend you to go to experts education, because they are expert in the field. They've been working with us for so long. They know the process. They know what documents required. So And it's completely free for you to go to experts and ask them to submit an application on your behalf. And they're going to help you applying for your visa when you go into New Zealand as well. So it's much better to go with an agency rather than doing it yourself. Hope
Thank you so
it's
much.
answered your questions. Thank you.
So we have questions for University of Canterbury. So may I know any scholarship program happening at University of Canterbury, such as accommodation scholar or any other particular scholarship program? How can I get?
Hi, thank you for your question. Right now, for scholarship program, we have up to 15,000 scholarship for undergraduate, and for master degree, we have 6,000 scholarship for master degree. So actually, for accommodation scholarship, we do not have right now, but we open a lot for scholarship program, and you can connect to Expert Education for more information, and we will guide you how to apply for it. So right now we are open for February 2025. Scholarship is ready, so feel free to apply through Expert Education.
Thank you so much, Jamie.
Thank you.
So there's another questions for Massey University. So what are the job opportunities after graduate from Massey University in Master of Construction and Quantity Surveying?
Very good. New Zealand's got a real shortage of quantity surveyors at the moment. They're actually on the immigration skills shortage list, which means that people who are qualified in that profession can get fast track for PR. In terms of earnings, our graduates on average, after about maybe 5 years into their profession, are earning at least $100,000 a year, sometimes more than that. And they work on all kinds of projects, everything from like house building to motorways, shopping malls. Construction in New Zealand is booming at the moment, as it is in many places. And actually, that's probably, quantity surveying is probably the program where we have the highest post-study employment rate out of all the programs we offer. So if you're interested in that, it's a very, very good option coming and doing construction in New Zealand at the moment. And if you qualify in New Zealand, and you think that you want to go overseas, our Master of Construction is recognized globally. So that includes Australia, UK, and 15 countries around the Asia Pacific, including Singapore, where David is at the moment.
Okay, so another question. So I think this is not to any specific university. Anyone can particularly answer if you have this program. I understand that each university have a unique industry focus program. May I know which university are well known for master program, particularly in supply chain and international trade in terms of job ready preparations? Supply chain and international trade.
Yeah, so
okay, Jamie, you can go first.
Okay, so actually right now you see we have offering Master of Supply Chain Management for February 2025 intake with scholarship up to 6,000 scholarship. Okay, go ahead. I hope, yeah.
So at the university, you go home.
After you, Jennifer, that's fine. I'll do after you.
Sorry. At the University of Auckland, yes, we do have Master of Management with supply chain management is one of the specialization. However, going forward from next year, we will be offering named masters. So there'll be particular master's program. It will be named Master of Supply Chain Management. Up to you.
Thank you. So AUT, we have the Master of Supply Chain Management offering to all of the students. It does not require you to have a relevant bachelor degree. So if you don't have a bachelor in business or commerce fields, it's fine. But if you have some work experiences in supply chain and logistics, you can apply into this professional master program. Our Master of Supply Chain Management can be done within 12 months or 18 months, depending on your intake starts. So if you start in November or October, you can do it within 12 months. But if you start in February, March intake, then you'll be doing it in 18 months. The course is 180 credits still. So depending on your intake starts and depending on your time So shorter times usually mean you complete the degree faster, and then you can go out to the job market. And then with the Master of Supply Chain Management at AUT, I think we are one of the very rare university that have this program accredited by the CIPS, which is the Chartered Institute of Procurement and Supply. It's a very prestigious and famous organization or global professional body working for the procurement and supply professions in many regions in the world. So right now it promotes best practice and provides services for non-professionals, and it's has over 64,000 members in over 180 countries in the world. So very, very, I would say that very good programs for you, accredited by the CIPS, Chartered Institute of Procurement and Supply. So if you've been working in the supply chain and logistics, you probably know CIPS. So that's for AUT. Over to the next university.
Okay. So I have another question.
Well,
so maybe Tam
can I add one more option, David?
Sure.
University of Waikato is offering Master of Management in Supply Chain Management as well. The program is 1 year, so only 1 year, and accepting non-background students. So and we also offer a scholarship up to 15,000 New Zealand dollars. So I think the 1 year master is very convenient for students in terms of the time and the money. And after finishing the 1 year master, you may be eligible for the 3-year post-study work visa. Thank you.
Okay.
Kia ora, David.
So,
Can I just say something quickly? My apologies,
Please.
I have to leave. I have a board
No
meeting
worries.
to get to. Thanks for running it, and I would encourage people to use expert education visa services. I think you'll find a lot of programs that there are questions about are offered by a number of universities, so you can help people sift through that. And I see something on the question line about PhD, for example. We can answer that anytime. So my apologies, I have to go. Thanks so much for running it. Bye-bye.
Sure. Thank you so much, Roger. Thank you. So I think for probably next question, Tam can answer it. So can I get assistant to apply PhD? I reach some supervisor from other university, but most of the time I don't get the feedback. Maybe I can get university agent assistant to apply for university in New Zealand. I'm planning to apply in PhD. My background is English lecturer.
Hi, David, do you want me to take this question?
Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you for the question. I guess PhD is a very different program versus other programs like bachelor or master degree. It's very much depend on how you develop your research proposal and how your research proposal going to be accepted by the potential supervisors. Different universities will have different process to apply for a PhD programs. At Otago, you need to secure your supervisor first. So it's very important that you get an agreement from the supervisor to agree to supervise your PhD project. I got a direct message from one of the participants about a PhD about a scholarship. So I will include these two information now for you. So if you want to know the scholarship scheme at Otago, it's really easy. If you Google Otago International Scholarships, then you get to our website about the international scholarships that we offer at the moment. If you are from Vietnam, Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, China, India, and South Korea, we have 15,000 for your undergrad study next year. And you can apply for our excellence scholarship with the value up to $35,000. So if you get 15,000 plus 35,000, you can add up the scholarship that up to 50,000. If you are not from the countries that I just mentioned, you have an opportunity to get $10,000 scholarship, and you can apply for $35,000 scholarship and add up to 45,000 for your undergrad study with us. We have $10,000 scholarship for master programs, and we have scholarship for PhD program, very generous. So please Google Otago International Scholarship or contact Expert Education for further information. Going back to the question about PhD, like I put in the chat box, if you want to know more about the PhD application process to Otago and tips to get response from the supervisor, you didn't hear from them, how to get a response from them, please watch one of our webinars. And again, you can always Google Otago Meet Us or contact Expert Education. Watch our webinar about undergrad programs, master programs, PhD programs, pathways, foundation programs, and we have all the information about the study options as well as the scholarships. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much, Tam. So there's another question. I think Jennifer can answer this. Can you tell me what are the scholarships program for master's degree related to computer science or data science? Is there any scholarships? If so, what are the criteria for eligibility?
Hi, David. So for international students, we do have two scholarships, international scholarships available for students to apply. One is the International Student Excellence Scholarship, and the other one is the ASEAN High Achiever Scholarship. I will encourage students from ASEAN countries to apply for the ASEAN High Achiever Scholarship, just because it's less competitive, and those are available for students in master's level, undergraduate level as well, postgraduate diploma as well for students to be able to apply. And the criterias are available on the university website. I will drop the link in there, and they will outline the regulations and terms and conditions of the scholarship criteria. So I'll drop it on there now.
Yeah, I think
so much,
each different university have different scholarship schemes available for international student. So if you go to each of the university in New Zealand websites, and it's publicly available for you to have a look at. So we don't really have to go through, because sometimes they divide it into different region. So go explore that into our website, and there'll be scholarships available for students from Southeast Asia.
Sure, thank you, Tam. So students, we might not be able to tackle all your questions because we have limited times. So if you cannot, if your questions being answered, you can probably reach out to our nearest office, Myanmar, Indonesia, Malaysia, or any offices. You can reach out. So there are a few questions I want to tackle. So anyone can answer if you have this program. So hi, I'm Okti, staff of University in Indonesia. My university want to build disability service center. Where can I learn about disability service in university? Is there any kind of programs in any university?
Yes, I at the University of Auckland, we do offer programs under in the Faculty of Education and Social Work, and I believe I have the student has also direct messaged me, and I've replied back with the link with more details.
Sure, thank you so much, Janet. Okay. So there's one question. So I think Max from Massey University, I have one question about Marshall Analytics. Can I attend 6 months in Singapore and 6 months in New Zealand? And after that, is it possible to apply 3-year work visa?
Thanks, David. You probably saw me tapping out an answer to that one. So under New Zealand law, I'm not an immigration advisor, so I'm not allowed to give specific immigration advice. So I would strongly recommend confirming this with the team at Expert or Immigration New Zealand. But it's my understanding that if you want to be eligible for post-study work rights after studying in New Zealand, you need to actually physically study for 1 year in person in New Zealand. So you could come and study at our Singapore campus, and we're going to offer Master of Business Analytics, and you can do 6 months in Singapore and 6 months in New Zealand, but you probably wouldn't be eligible for the post-study work rights unless you do the full 1 year study in New Zealand. But please talk to David and the team, and they'll confirm the details for that for you.
Thanks so much. So I think probably I'll close this session with this last questions. So students, if you have any questions or if your questions are not being answered, please reach out to our nearby office, okay? So this is the last question. So I'm looking for information about master and midwifery in New Zealand for international students, and what scholarships can we apply? Questions from Rani. Midwifery.
That'd be AUT.
I'm kind of busy answering. There's quite a few direct questions sent to me via the chat box. And you guys busy in questions. So sorry, David, what was the questions again?
Do you have the student is looking for master and midwifery in New Zealand. So do you have master midwifery program or any scholarships?
A master of what? Sorry.
Midwifery.
Midwifery.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do have that. It lies under the School of Health Science, so Faculty of Health and Environmental Sciences. You'll be studying in the North Campus. I think we are equally the largest education provider for all of the health science programs in New Zealand. I think probably Otago and AUT is the biggest. I think, and with midwifery, you can applying for AUT, the requirements is an IELTS 6.5 with no bands below 6.5. These health science applications all have to go back to faculty for final approval, so takes a little longer than usual. There is scholarship for the School of Health Science program. You can apply again. Please go to our website, depending on the intake, depending on the courses. So if you're applying for July intake, there is a scholarship available, but it's already past the deadline. And then for March next year intake, we haven't got a confirmed scholarship scheme for next year yet. So keep it updated on our websites and you'll find out the scholarship scheme.
Thank you so much, Hop. So I think that's the end of today's webinar. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much to all our partners for giving your precious time and sharing all the insightful sessions for all the students who would like to study in New Zealand. And to all the students, thank you so much for participating. If you have any questions or any further questions about any university, you can reach out to our nearest office. We have office in Myanmar, Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos. So you can reach out to any of the near office, and you can get further assistance in terms of applying to any university in New Zealand. So and we look forward to helping you to study in New Zealand. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, David.
Thank you,
For the
David.
opportunity.
Thank you, David.
Yeah, I would
Thank
like to
you,
take up
David.
this opportunity to thank you everyone to join us today. A huge thank you from the University of Otago. Tomorrow is Matariki, the Merry New Year. I would like to take this opportunity to wish you a happy Merry New Year as well. Thank you again.
Thank you, Tam. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Paul.
everyone.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you,
Thank you,
David, and thank
everyone.
you, everyone.